Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to TCG University. It's me, Noah, here with
James.
and we're doing another best damn
Deck.
that was for you. So we're doing mono win this time. It's not going to be your current mono win list, but it's a traditional mono win list. As always, these decks are always just pretty outlined for you guys to take, use, and build to your heart's content from there. As always, please be sure to like, comment, share, subscribe. Check us out on Patreon right down below there. Patreon.com/TCG University. James, anything you want to add on that? He's all set.
Let's get into it.
We're going to jump right into it. The first things we're going to talk about are the 5 major factors. We got the core of the deck, the techs and weaknesses, the summons, and the limits. Moving right on. Start with the core of the deck. Mono Wind. James, take us away, because this is your deck you worked with.
This is the deck I worked on. So first we're going to talk about Rosa. Rosa is a 3-drop 7K that says, make sure I get this perfectly worded. Good job.
Oh, now it did the thing. Okay, there we
go. When you cast the third card you've cast this turn, activate all the backups you control. Nutty.
Hey, wait, what?
When you cast the third card you've...
That is really that is translation wording
When
weird.
you cast the 5th card you've cast this turn, reveal the top card of your deck. If it's a character, you may play it onto the field. Then pay a win. Rosa gains. Rosa cannot be chosen by your opponent's abilities
until the end of turn.
Basically use this because as all mono win decks do right now, we storm counters. That's a magic thing too, as well as saying colors. Gotta play green.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
We storm. So cast counts always matter. We got Luso in here. We got Ash. We got Balthier doesn't really do cast, but he helps with casting a bunch. So next we got Atomos. Atomos is a 2-drop monster. It is probably one of the third. I guess it's third because Rosa's really important. Actually second because Rosa you don't always need. It's just very, very nice to have. Atomos is probably the second most important card in the deck. It's a 2-drop monster. During each turn, when you cast your second card, when you cast the second card, you're right.
Are you good? Here, I got this.
You're right. It is very weird text. Okay.
Yeah, I get it.
I did the same thing you did, which is I had like a tiny stroke, and I went, "Wait,
yeah,
that's not right."
Figure that out. Okay. During each turn, when you cast the second card you've cast, choose up to 2 backups. Activate them. Damage 3, pay nothing. Until the end of turn, Atomos also becomes a forward with 7k power, and when Atomos attacks, activate all the backups you control. You can only use this ability once per turn.
See, I became self-conscious because you said something, and then I messed up.
Got him. That's all we're here for.
But he's the main one because every single turn when you cast your second card, you get to restand, so you get to just constantly just play dudes, ready dudes, play dudes, ready dudes. Very, very strong. And then the third card we're going to talk about, the most important card, is Luso.
Is he really the most important for you?
He's
a facilitator?
He's the way the deck kills.
Gotcha.
In my opinion, he's the way the deck kills somebody. Luso is a 1-drop 3K that says when he enters the field, if you've cast 3 or more cards this turn, you get to draw a card. Cool facilitation, like he was talking about. And then when Luso enters the field, if you cast 7 or more this turn, you deal 8k to all your opponent's forwards.
When Luso enters the field, if you've cast the 7th card you've cast this turn... That's not what it says.
Okay.
But
I looked at that and went, what?
And with the last 2 cards we just read, I would not be surprised.
It's really confusing me. But yeah, so the main idea is you're going to play a bunch of things, restand a bunch of things, play Luso as 7 or more, and then board wipe your opponent and just be at a very good position to then push through for games. The next card we're going to talk about is Lulu. Lulu is a 3-drop 5K that says when she enters the field, you choose one card named Yuna or a summon in your break zone you add to your hand. We obviously aren't playing Yunas, we're playing summons. And then when you cast a summon, you can choose a forward, make it a 5K. That one's not as important, but can be important in certain situations because we play things like Bismarck and Chocomog.
I do want to state one of my biggest grievances about this card is that it's a Guardian and not Guardian/Black Mage.
Only because you want it to be a Black Mage?
Well, she's also a Black Mage in the games. That's her. That's her default.
Are any of the other Lulus Black Mages?
Yes.
Are they?
I believe there are other Lulu Black Mages.
Look at it later. We'll look at it later.
Go ahead. No, you're fine. Your next card.
Next card's Balthier. Balthier is a 4-drop. I think it's 8K.
4-drop 8K.
4-drop 8K. When he enters the field or a wind character enters the field, You choose a forward your opponent controls and deal it 3k. So every time you play a dude, 3k something counting himself. So him, you can go like, I think I had a game yesterday where I went Rosa, do a couple things, get Balthier on the 5, and then...
No, they're all Guardians. Gross. Exactly. Stupid.
The new Lulu was the closest one.
But we get Blitzball player for Tidus and Guardian, but we don't get Guardian and Black Mage for Lulu.
It's because Blitzballer matters.
Okay, yeah, just for Waka too, I guess.
Have you seen the Blitzballer League?
God, let's not talk about that.
So like the idea is you have Rose on the board, you play Balthier, you play like Luso, restand your dudes with the Tomos, play like Chocobo to add back draw, restand your dudes with Rosa. Do whatever else you want, like play Lulu, get like Ashura or any other dude like Alexander, because you can tap, play it, draw 2, get all the way up to your Luso count, so you can just Luso and board wipe if Balthier doesn't help you push.
Isn't it so cool that Balthier just says pay 2, restand everything? Yeah,
it's pretty neat.
I don't think I've ever seen you use that.
No, I never have Balthier when it comes time to do it. It sucks.
You never have a Sky Pirate in hand?
Nope. Oh well. I don't play enough Sky Pirates for it specifically in this build. I thought about it, but you get clunky in other places if you're not playing enough of certain things.
Gotcha.
So far, the deck I'm working with, for whatever reason, is super consistent at almost any point, as long as we can funnel enough.
Oh yeah, you want to talk about your Bismarck 1 backup?
No, because I'm not going to talk about it right now. But let's just say I board wiped, played like 15 cards in a turn, off of just having a Choco Latte and a Bismarck on my board. It was sick. I went from not being in a good position to having Balthier, Rosa, Luso, Lulu, and I had one other card. What was it? Oh, no, I ended it with having Fina in hand. For anything you play. For a board play.
Do you have the backups built too, right?
Yeah. I built like a Stilt Skid and a Chocobo Sand. It was really funny.
I guess moving on then, we have our decks.
This
is kind of a mix of both of us. I put cards in, he put cards in, so I'll let you go first.
So first we have Ishtola. We don't have it pulled up here. It literally just cancels. It's a 3-drop 7k that says...
cancel a summon or cancel an
auto ability. It's super strong. I'm not playing it in my build right now. Fina. But Fina, yes. But I'm playing more... I'm a little more techy. Even though Ishtola is very techy, my tech is very not like situationally.
This beat is my recite. Don't listen to me. I don't know why that got me.
So like one of the next cards we'll talk about is Dorgan.
Don't talk about Dorgan. That's my card.
No one talks about Dorgan. We don't talk about Dorgan.
Stop. We're not doing this.
So in my original deck, I had Dorgan and Sid, and I had to choose between which one I really liked more. And even though Dorgan says draw a card, I chose to do the Sid because I have enough like draw engine in my deck that I didn't want the draw or the removal. I wanted the Sid to where if I ever had to play like this the late game, I didn't have to worry about finding like Atomoses or Roses to restand.
He's saying Sid FFB, by the way, in case anybody was wondering what Sid he means, because there's like 17,000 Sids in the game.
Nope, not enough Sids.
Sid FFB is a 4-cost 8k that says at the beginning of the attack phase during each of your turns, select one of the 2 following actions. Choose 2 characters, activate them. All the forwards you control gain. This forward cannot be chosen by your opponent's summons until the end of turn. It's one of those 2 things. Activate 2 dudes or no summons. When he's put from the field of the break zone, you can pay 3 when you do so. Play him onto the field. Dole. From the break zone. Yeah. And then Dorgan. Dorgan says when he enters, you get 1 of 3 abilities. If he's your 3rd cast, or if you casted 3 or more cards, whichever one, you get 2 of 3 abilities. You either choose a monster, remove it, choose 2 cards in your opponent's break zone, remove them, draw a card, or choose a 5-cost forward of more and remove it.
Oh, is it remove?
I think it's 2 removes. Right. I could be incorrect. I will double check that
on
myself.
It's get rid of a dude in some sort of fashion.
Get rid of 2 different types of dudes.
And I wasn't as much worried about getting rid of the 5-drop dude because most of the things in the meta right now aren't 5-drops. I think Cecil's the only one you have to worry about, but that says 2, so it makes Cecil bad. It makes it bad for Cecil. And then drawing a card wasn't as important, like I said, because we're already funneling. What I wanted was the ability to either have a board state I can keep if I'm playing like a mid game, and Sid can always like replay himself out. And I wanted the ability to restand if I wasn't allowed to keep Rosa or Atomos, which is we'll talk about in summons is very important. Next up, you wanted to talk about the Kane.
I think Kane's cool.
Very cool.
Kane is a 3-drop 6K. I think he gains 2K or 1K at damage 3. That has haste and first strike. That says when he attacks, restand 2 dudes. Kane is just an early game facilitator. He's also a haster, which is good for mono win because it speeds up. It's really good at speeding up the push game of the deck.
I originally had him in the deck, but it always felt clunky to try and have to tap to play him when I'm trying to do backups and do other things. So I replaced him with this Noel right now. I might go back to him.
2-drop Noel. This card's gonna be real cool next set.
Yeah.
Because of Hope.
Oh.
Hope just says search and play this card whenever.
Yeah. But I wanted to play Noel instead because Noel says at least late game, mid game, like I was talking about earlier. I wanted that like situationalness. Mm-hmm. I can at damage 3 push, have haste, get this damage or adding stuff and get pieces if I'm not allowed to if I'm not drawing good or not getting the pieces on my own. Mm-hmm. So I did that instead of the Kane because when I was playing it, the Kane always just felt clunky if I ever didn't have the backup situationally right. But I did
next
also
is
test it.
Bismarck, which is if you know what Bismarck does, pretty self-explanatory because the card's kind of nuts. Here you go, James.
Oh, thank you.
Boop.
Bismarck is a 5-drop 9K. When a character is returned from the field to the owner's hand, you draw a card. This effect will only trigger once per turn. And at the end of each
character from any side.
Character, yep. And then at the end of each of your turns, you choose up to one win character you control, return it to the owner's hand, and then he can dole an active win forward to deal 2,000 damage to a win for fuck. Deal 2,000 damage to a dude. Crazy. Lulu is very good with this Bismarck because you can have Bismarck and Lulu on the board. She makes something to 5K, and you just dole him, dole her, dole a backup.
Backup doesn't count.
Don't count the backup. Have 3 forwards. Play like a Luso for Commander or whatever. Dole it. You get to kill something practically for free if you can't attack on the same turn.
Bounce back.
Yep. Bounce back to Luso. Have it for next turn. Cool thing is Bismarck counts himself if you add himself to his hand. Mm-hmm. So Chocobo and back to hand, you get to draw off Chocobo. You get the Bismarck back in hand. You draw off himself. Nice and easy.
3 cards.
3 cards.
And then lastly, we put, or I guess I put Philo in here. Philo is seen currently as it stands in 2024.
I don't like it.
For being able to facilitate water in your mono win deck because she is a mono win backup. That says that your Sky Pirate backups generate water as well, meaning her plus kites is 2 water CP you can always mess around with when you need.
There's a Sky Pirate Penella that says just search the Philo.
Oh, she's also Sky Pirate, which is really good for Balthier. Damn.
Yes.
This sounds like such a fun deck.
Here's the thing. It's really good.
Counters.
It's really good. We were trying to build mono wind, and I was like, I'm not building mono wind with water just because it's cool.
I don't like storm.
But here's the thing: the only thing it does is it plays. Obviously, it plays Pinello, kites, and whatever to get the mono winds, to get the water. But it plays Leo, and it plays just a couple of water summons, like 6-drop Leviathan or like Chuchulain and Poo-Poo.
Obviously.
Poo-Poo, which just says, I think, what is it? Draw 2, discard 1 or whatever?
If you have no cards in hand, draw 2.
Something like that?
I think it's discard, draw 2. I think you discard first and then you draw.
Like, that's just what... It just facilitates the cast count, and that's it. And I hate the idea of that. At least I saw people playing.
Discard, then draw 2 cards. So if you don't have a card, you still draw 2, I believe.
Yeah, so, like, it's cool. Like, I'm not saying it's not. It's just... I felt it wasn't in the spirit of Monowind to play it. I think competitively it's a very cool idea because Leo gives you a cast count that draws you a card. Sick. This facilitates its own and you don't off-color anything outside of that, which is sick for backup-wise. And then Chuchulain's very good in the meta right now. And Poo-Poo's really good at just giving you cast count and cards in hand. Mm-hmm. It sucks, but I'm not a big fan of it.
Next, we move on to our summons. Squeak. Oh, no, just kidding. Weaknesses. I'm such a baddie. I've been doing this for X amount of videos now. Weaknesses. Yeah, I guess let's go over them. We're going to start with Sid Randall. I think it's just an easy one to start with. He shuts off ETBs. So Luso doesn't work. Isana doesn't work. Things, yep. Zidane doesn't work.
Lulu.
Noel doesn't work.
Lulu. Balthier.
Which is actually really funny. It shuts off Noel. Balthier does not work. Correct. Lulu does not work. Vaughn doesn't work. It shuts off a good chunk of your cards. Besides,
is it just forwards?
It's ETBs from forwards. Yes. So any forward that
shuts
stems
off
an ETB.
Typhon at 3 backups.
Yeah, Typhon. It comes in as a forward. It shuts off Typhon, which is kind of funny. So yeah, Next, we have Kuchulain. It's pretty self-explanatory. Kuchulain just blanks a dude. So blanking
Rosa
is really good.
Very, very good.
And it draws your card.
If it's going to hit you, Bismarck if you're having a problem with it.
Lulu doesn't matter, but blanking Bismarck's really good because Bismarck's end of turn doesn't trigger.
Balthier.
Yeah, I know, but I was looking at Lulu and I was like, I don't think Lulu matters. Luso doesn't matter.
Rosa's definitely your best hit.
Yeah.
For sure.
Miss Dragon, stop summons, period. Yep. It's really good. Just
the
for
summons we play in the deck facilitate getting the cast count without having to play dudes.
Yep.
And either get us dudes, get us more cards, or I'm playing other things, but kill a dude, which is sometimes what we need to happen to be able to do certain other things.
Yeah. Ratsu's really cool because Ratsu just stops autos. And guess who has 2 autos tacked onto her? That's right, Rosa. So there's 2 times they could stop Rosa.
Yep.
They could also stop Balthier. They could stop Izana. They could stop Luso. They could stop Zidane. They can stop Noelle. They could stop Lulu. They could stop Bismarck.
Everything in my deck.
Almost everything you play has an auto, which is what makes them good.
The Tomos.
Yeah.
Typhon.
Cerberus. Like, it's got a lot of cool auto stops. And then lastly, this is a placeholder that says anything that says get rid of a monster. I just
or
put
character really. Character in general that can hit any like monsters.
Yeah, monster or character.
Atomos is the best card in this deck. No matter what anybody else will ever tell you.
You called it the second best card earlier. I want you to understand that.
Oh, Luso is the best card in the deck because it's what kills somebody. Mm-hmm. Your deck's not killing without it. Atomos is what makes the deck good. Luso's just your kill card. Like, if I wanted to, if we don't have Luso, I max out on Fat Chocobo and find a way to get Fat Chocobo working, which is we play Ochos and more
You
Typhons.
just play a bunch of more monsters?
Yep. That's it. That's all that changes. Luso makes it easier. But Atomos is what makes the deck run good. Rosa does the same thing, but it's practically... You have to take a placeholder on spot on board. She's easier. She's also very easy to deal with. Because she's not a monster and very difficult to deal with. She has protection of her own, but it's not as good as Atomos being... I just revert back to not being a forward later. And Atomos you can always deal with all the time on your turn, where Rosa sometimes you have to count what you're doing. So that way you trigger things at certain points to not end up like double triggering off Rosa in certain scenarios.
You don't want to, yeah.
Yeah. Or not having too many dudes on board when you Rosa trigger to where you hit nothing. That also sucks.
That's the thing. And then lastly...
Summons.
Oh, God, I am way off this video. What is going on? Okay, summons, next. 2CP Chocobo, hero from set 10. I know that for sure, because that's a really cool card. Chocobo says, choose a forward you control, return it back to hand, draw a card.
Yep.
Super simple.
Super cheap. Gives you back anything you want and replaces itself in hand.
Honestly, for this to be a hero, it just seems weird now. It could have almost been a legend.
It probably should have been.
Yeah. Next is Ashura, or Ashura, however you want to say it. Shoutouts to my...
3 card?
She's a set 2.
2.
Yeah. Choose one of the 3 following actions. Dude, she said 2 of the 3. She'd be a legend for sure. She'd be so good. Choose up to 2 forwards, activate them. Choose up to 5 backups, activate them. Gross. Choose up to 1 card of cost 2 or less in your break zone. Add it to your hand.
Character card.
Yeah, 1 character card of 2 or less.
She's very important because she gets to pick up your Tomos if somebody breaks it later.
Also, because I've been playing through the games more, this is actually very thematic for how Ashura would work, which I think is really cool.
You will almost never do anything with the forward activation. The 5 backup...
Unless you're playing dancers.
If you don't have Zidane, the Atomos, or the Luso, you'll most likely be picking one of those up. But Ashura is very good at just going, ting, restand, reload, go again. She's cheap, fixes your cast count, and then restands everything. So, like...
Next is Fat Chocobo, which James likes this card.
I do really
like I also think Fat Chocobo is
the only reason we're not playing Ocho is strictly because I wanted to play this Chocomok, which we'll talk about in a second. But
what do you mean Ocho? As in the monster? Yeah. Oh, because
it also restands and does cast count. But I wanted to test this Chocomok more than anything, and I enjoyed it. Chocomok, Fat Chocobo. The cost required to cast Fat Chocobo is reduced by 1 for every 3. It's an 8 cost, so about every 3 characters you drop it by 2. Most of the time we like to get the 4 to 5 backups, and you get 2 dudes on board. You're sitting at about 6 dudes, so you make it like a 6 cost. If you get a bunch of dudes on board, you can make it super cheaper as well. Then it says deal 8,000 to all the forwards or point controls, just like Luso does. It's a very cool board wipe. Gets cheaper on its own.
It wins Hecaton share, and it only hits your opponent.
And it only hits your opponent, which is the fun part.
Yep.
Plus, Big Bird.
And it's usable on both turns.
Plus, Big Bird.
Could you imagine if Heka was usable on both turns? That card would be nuts.
Plus, Big Bird.
Oh my God, Jesus Christ, James.
Big Bird.
Next one, not the Big Bird, is Chocomog, and I will simp for Chocomog. Choose a forward, deal it 1k damage for each character you control. If you control a Job Chocobo or card name Chocobo and a Job Moogle or card name Moogle, draw a card.
Yep.
It's a 2-drop EX burst, so you pay 2, potentially kill something, and draw a card back off of it. So you go neutral, but your opponent is down.
Yes. So currently we are playing...
And usually you get like 5 or 6 dudes out.
Chocolades for our Chocobos.
Plus Lulu makes us deadly.
Yeah, we're playing Chocolades, which are our only Chocobo, but we have a couple ways to search them in the form of Chocobo, Sam, and Izana. Mm-hmm. As well as we're playing 2 of them, so we make sure to see it. It's the only reason I'm playing 2. I was playing 1, but I went, we really need to see this.
You need a Chocobo if you're playing that card, yeah.
And then we're playing 3 of the Moogle Cat 11 and the Stiltskin, which are both Moogles, which are very easy. Stiltskin searches you, your Luso, your Every, and Moogle 11 says search anything.
As long as you special, yeah. Yep. It's trade a card for a card.
Which is what triggers having both of those on the board. So the idea is to get Chocolate out. Norstalin can search the Stiltskin easily. And then if we just happen to get the Moogle 11, we get Moogle 11 combos.
Yep.
Moogle 11 is the extra side of it. I'm not as worried about Moogle 11 all the time. But it's a cheap one that you get to put on board that just says easy. The best thing you can do, in my opinion, while having Moogle on board is to Ashura and go, cool, tap 1. First cast, pick up Moogle, tap Moogle, search, grab whatever else I want. Restand because I have Matomas on board. Yeah, it's very, very good.
Lastly, we have Alexander, which is also a key facilitator in the deck.
Yes.
Alexander says, draw a card. If you cast it 4 more cards this turn, draw 2 cards instead. He's also an EX.
Yep. It's a 1-drop that just says draw 2, basically. It's a pot of greed.
Yeah.
Pot of greed is always good in every card.
Pot of greed.
But you have to have cast 4, which is very easy. It's always after the Rosa restand, so like you always have your backups to do stuff with after Rosa. So
draw 2 is so good.
Draw 2 is disgusting.
God, it's gross. Okay, now lastly, summons or limits. What backups? We don't have a backup thing. What? Stop doing this to me. I'm losing it this video, anyways. Okay. I'm not gonna talk about the elephant in the room. We'll get there when we get there. Yuri sucks unless you're playing a Chelinka, and none of the Chelinkas are worth it, but it's something you can put in there if you really wanted to.
Yeah.
He does get a power boost for having 5 backups. Cool. Lil Lila, standard. She's really good.
Good just throwing card.
Yep. Leo, if you're playing the water wind version where you essentially play Pinello and Philo and Kites. So you can Pinello, search Philo, Kites, whatever. Then you can play Leo, when in doubt, Leo it out. Hey, baby. Ace, I will simp for this card so hard in a mono win deck just because Ace is another board wipe that you can also get out. Now, granted, he will never cost any less than he is, but it's really cool. And for the rest of the game, every time he attacks, he will essentially draw you a card. And then lastly, we put Althea in here because Althea is banned. Please unban Althea because I think Althea would be really cool to have back in the format.
Just make Althea... Ooh, actually make Althea add back a win character. Well, I guess you can't do your opponent's then. No, you can't do your
Althea never did your opponent's stuff anyways.
I'm having the stroke now.
Yeah, what the heck?
Just make it a win
character. I understand why Althea will never be unbanned. Look, I get it. I'm okay for that, but I would also like Althea every time I look at specific decks.
Just make it add back a win character.
That's still gross.
Yeah, but here's the thing. It's only going to be used in this.
Not Mount. You could play it in anything that plays wind.
Yeah, sure, but I mean...
You know how much plays wind? You know what's really cool? Hey, I'm going to add this Warrior of Light back to my hand. And then play it again.
Mono wind.
Okay, yeah. Now we're changing it up a bit.
Make a mono wind. You're right.
So yeah, that wraps up the mono wind deck. Is there any? I don't really have too much to say on mono wind. I think mono wind's really good. I think my biggest issue is that storm counts are just not my play style, so I don't really focus too much on it.
I enjoy playing it almost like casually. I hate the deck competitively. The deck competitively to me is like a coin flip. Either if somebody has the immediate out, you just lose, or you can steamroll people and it just feels bad for the other people.
Well, it's a control deck. That's the whole point.
Huh?
Either they beat you before you control, or you control.
Yeah. It just to me, but like the way it does it.
There's no back and forth.
No. It's either one side or the other, and that's just it's fun to play casually as a cool. Let's get a real quick game in, have some fun, and it feels real good when you're comboing. When you're comboing, it's disgusting. But other than that, it just feels It feels one trainee. It goes one way and that's it.
Me personally, I don't like it as just mono wind, but that's just because the only mono wind decks that I ever played is Storm Counter mono wind decks, and I think you could play a lot of other ones that are a lot more beefier that would fit my playstyle, but they're just not as good compared to the Storm Count. I also think that it'd be really cool if there was a competitive version of Wind X Storm Counts, but it's very hard to get there. I think Fire has some ability to do it.
Oh, Cat 10? Cat 10?
No.
Wind X?
Wind in a X element. Like Wind Earth had a thing.
Yeah.
It was going for a while. Wind Water I think is maybe doable.
It's playable against Luso.
I don't know
Leo.
How well it works. The issue is Luso's still your end game with a lot of these, so what's the point? If you had a different end game that wasn't Luso, I think it'd be fine.
Yeah, if you have a real a point to it.
But there's
Leo's just there to give you the cast count and that's it.
Yeah. Unfortunately. So yeah.
That's why Ice is always really cool. Wind Ice. Wind
Ice wasn't Leo, but also Wind Ice is just
Wind Ice
very weird sometimes.
Wind Ice at least has a game plan that isn't just Luso people, which is you
Luso.
lock Sid.
Yeah.
And you freeze down people, which is actually, in my opinion, I think it's better.
Sometimes you hope him.
Yeah. I play Hope.
Hope Eduardo's always going to be hilarious in my opinion.
Yep. I actually like Wind Ice more. It's just Wind Ice feels bad for Rosa because it doesn't feel like Rosa has enough good targets. Because every time you do anything, Sid's already on board, so Rosa's not going to be able to play a Sid. You have the lock in hand, so playing a lock from your cast just feels bad. Luso uses your end game still as an option, so you want to keep that there, or you're playing it to facilitate the count for the lock.
Yeah.
So everything you're playing just feels bad because you want Sid on board already. You want the Rose on board already, the lock in hand or the Luso in hand. You want all these pieces already in a position where you can do things, and everything else isn't there.
Yep.
So everything else you could play, you don't have, or everything else you could play, you already have or want out. So it feels bad to hit it off of the Rosa.
Yeah.
So whereas this one, if you look at mine, we only need 2 cards out there, which is Rosa
and Atomos.
And
she can hit anything else.
And then anything else we do is fine, right? So we put Balthier out, and we hit a bunch of things, we're cool. We play a Lulu, trigger and pop a Balthier out, we're fine. Or we play something, pop out a Lulu, we're fine.
Yep.
Pop out a Bismarck, the Vaughn.
Sometimes you gotta pop out and show children. Every time
Sometimes you gotta pop out and show the meta.
Say it, James.
No.
Say it. Don't actually. I don't want to get demonetized or canceled.
You just put a. You're just gonna put a beep when you edit.
Don't think you said it.
How dare you? You're gonna cut the rest of this so they know we're not joking. So they won't know we're joking. No.
Got him. All right. Yeah, I'm good. I don't have anything else. Jesus Christ. Right, thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and as always,
hit us up on Patreon, our TCG player, buy our merch. Stay there.
We don't have a lot of merch yet.
We don't.